Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again with another video, and this one is Act 1, Scene 1. So I'll tell you about it as we go along. Let's get to drawing. Art students, I am back, and I am starting a new series. Now, I know I just started a series on Learning to Draw starts right here, but what that was going to do was going to lead you right up into this series. So I decided to cut that one short to get you into this, because everything that I was teaching you would have, as I said, led you up into this series. So this is Act 1, Scene 1. And what this is about, well, what you see right here has nothing to do with it. This is just something for you to look at while I ramble and tell you, what's going to happen. So what this is about, it's about drawing scenes. Now, you might not want to do comic books. You might want to do interior design or clothes design or character design. But what I'm going to show you has to do with all of it. Now, it's about drawing scenes. It's about what you see when you first look at a picture. Now, it's not going to be about fighting scenes or a guy kicking, down a door or something like that. It's going to be about the scenes that are in between the action. The scenes we don't really think about, but you have to put your all into them so that the viewer can see right off and understand what's happening with the characters, what's happening around the characters. Why is this thing going to happen? The build-up. Just like if you see a movie and they show you the room, they'll focus on like pictures and other items in the room before you see the character. And what that does is let you know that these little objects or the things that you see are going to play an important role in the movie later. You just don't understand it because maybe you're not a writer or you just don't see it. But they might scan in on a picture of a guy and his family. And later on, you find out his family's missing or dead or something, and you say, oh, that's why they scanned it on that picture. Things like that you never think about. I'm going to show you how to do that in this series. So we're going to put it all together, and it's not going to be about, can I draw so good? It doesn't make a difference your skill level. This is about making you think. It's about making you think so that you can present the best picture, the best image, the best put together puzzle piece that you can. I can't think of that word, so I just said put together puzzle piece as you can. So let's get started with the series. And this is just something, I play around. I have a sketchbook. I just play around with stuff from time to time. I really don't like drawing in sketchbooks because I hate this. I hate the fact that, this cuts you off. I'd rather do paper, and then I can just run off. But I never could really get into sketchbooks. So, that's what that was about. All right, so let's get started with this series. Act 1, Scene 1. All right, so as I said, when you look at a picture, regardless of what picture it is, let me get something that's not mine, something that's not my drawing. All right, so let's take a look at this picture right here. Now, when this guy decided to draw this thing, he didn't just draw it and just throw it out there. He had a specific reason for drawing it the way he drew it. So let's take this centerpiece right here. This is it looks maybe like a portal or something like that, and it's connected to these rocks. And if you look down here, you see this little guy walking. So that's going to tell you the size between him and this thing. And it's also, if you see it, it's going into the 1-point perspective going here. So that means this guy is walking in this direction, the 1-point perspective. So it leads you to this particular thing. And even the way he colored it, you see how it's dark around here and it's light right here. So he did all that so that guy you can focus on that guy. You'll look at all of this and then your eyes will be drawn to the dark and then that light, and you're like, oh, there's a guy there and he's walking to this portal or whatever it is, and he's going in that direction. He's leading you. They're leading you by doing this 1-point perspective that goes down. So this is what I want to try to show you whenever you decide to draw, whether you're drawing your comic book or your interior design or whatever, or just, character design. I want to show you these elements to make your picture more pleasing, to make it pop out more, that sort of thing. So let's get started. I mean, I could show you this book, but I'm not into the book. I just wanted to show you how it is when somebody else's picture. So the first thing that we're going to do is use the square, cube, box, whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it. Now, whatever you draw, it needs to be exciting. If somebody's looking at your picture and looking at another person's picture, you want them to look at your picture more than theirs, especially when it comes to trying to buy something. You want to make everything exciting. If you draw an apple, I'm staring at this book here. If you draw an apple, a lot of light because I have my interior light, my upper light is on. You know, the way he put these, you know, put this one up front and these two on the side to kind of like fill out this space right here. And the designer put this big red here and then the name up here. It's all part of a design. He could have just drew an apple over to the side and then called it quits, but he didn't, or she didn't, or whoever it was that designed it didn't. So let's look at the square. Now let's imagine if somebody hired you to do their logo or their image. They have a thing that's called the box. The new product is called the box. And they say, look, I want you to do just a logo for me. You know, we're going to pay you $50,000. We need it to be exciting. So you know what a square looks like. You know what a box or a cube. I'm just going to call this a box, okay? It's going to turn into a cube, but I'm just going to call it a box. You know what that looks like. So to draw that out, you would say, okay, this is not exciting. This is not going to draw people to look at it. And it's certainly not going to get me $50,000. So I have to make this thing exciting as possible. So in the very beginning, when I started teaching people how to draw, I always said, learn your shapes and learn to be able to turn them around, because everything is a shape. Everything is a shape. Circle, cylinder, you know, this could be a rectangle, flats, up and down, you know. So they all they change when you turn them. So you said to yourself, okay, now I got to make this thing exciting. So when this guy sees it, he's going to be like, that's the one, that's the one. So the simplest shape is the square or the box or the cube. All right, so now you have to say to yourself, how can I make this thing exciting? How can I make this little square exciting? So we start out with perspective. How am I going to see this? How am I going to see this? Whenever you draw your person or you draw your whatever, you want to say to yourself, how am I, or how is the viewer going to see this thing? You know, using your perspective, are they going to see it from above? Are they going to see it from below? Are they going to see it right in the middle? You have those three choices, you know. So in comics, when you're seeing something from above, let's just draw this. You're seeing something from above. Now, this could be a building. Let's just say it's a building, okay? You're above that building. Now, because you're above it, there's a feeling of disconnect, right? And there's also a feeling of height being above it. When you're disconnected, you're not part of that. You're just looking down at this. You're floating above this thing and you're looking down at it. So it doesn't really affect you when you're below it. Wow, I just forgot how to do below. Okay, so when you're below this thing, it's got to go off the paper. I'm going to have to move this. So when you're below this thing, let's just say here, this is you're underneath the bottom of this thing right here. That kind of makes it menacing, okay? I'm below this thing, so I'm smaller than this thing. This is the bottom of it for those who, you know, who just really don't see that. This is floating above your head. Like that is you. You're like, my God, look at that thing. It's so big. Okay, so when you're below that, it looks more bigger, more powerful, more menacing. You know, you're small compared to this thing. So you say to yourself, okay, I want somebody to see this box, right? I want to see this box, square, cube, and I want them to be in awe of this thing. So I'm not going to draw it like this. I'm going to draw it from more of a bottom perspective where I see this thing and it's just above me a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to see the bottom of this. Maybe I should use a darker pencil since I'm not using my red and I don't like the light. This is my new camera for those who stayed with me. I was using an iPhone, and for whatever reason the iPhone just don't want to connect to anything other than an Apple product. So I would film these videos hour or whatever video, and then I couldn't get it off the phone, and it just like got to the point where it's like, no, 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 no. So as I say, okay, so I want to draw this cube. So I got a new phone, but I don't like the way it's light, but when in editing, it looks better. So I want to draw this little cube, and I want to say, okay, so I want it to be just above somehow, just above. So I'm going to put some like that. So that's much better. That's more exciting than this. Okay. So, but you say, okay, maybe it could be a little more exciting somehow. Because remember, you wanted to grab your attention when you first see it. $50,000, you wanted to grab your attention and choke your attention and hold it to death. So I said, okay, look, I like that. I like that. It's like, it's there. It's like coming at me. Because you're going back in perspective. You're going back that 1 point perspective. It's coming at me, but I want to just tweak it a little bit more. How can I make it a little more exciting? Let's try turning it just a little bit. So I'm still going to have the upper shot. So let me turn it a little bit. So whoa. Forgot. Yeah. Brian, did you just forget how to do a square? Like that. So that is even more exciting than that. I'll make it more flatter. But to make it just a little more exciting. That way, you also have you're also showing 3 sides. So now, I'm happy with that. Definitely better than this. Better than that. Let's try one more. Let's just try from like the middle this time. And that's going to be here, and that's going to be there. So that's in the middle. We still have our 3 sides. And compare. Let's say, yeah, that's nice. So this is going to be the one that I'm going to use. It's above me, which means, it's over me. No matter what it is, it has power over me. Because it's above me. I'm just small. I'm down here on the ground. This box, this cube, this square has that power over me. So I'm going to look up at it because it's there. Now, if I add something like maybe some lines or something, and this is just, me like it's coming or flying toward me. You could add special effects or whatever later, but just to have this as an opening shot versus this is completely different. Looks a lot better. Now I can slim this out and make the bottom not so much, or show not so much of the bottom, but I'm going to leave it at this because it's more exciting. So that's the thing you have to look at whenever you are doing your picture. If you're drawing a person, I'm just going to do a quick person. And this is not going to be like quick detail because I was never here to show you how good I draw. It's more like I want to show you how good you can draw. That has always been a thing with my videos. Well, in the beginning, I was trying to show off, but I realized, why not bless somebody and show them how good they can draw. Okay, here's my person. So maybe I want to draw my person more exciting. So I'm going to draw smaller since I used all my space up. So let's say I'm going to draw the person up. Give him that presence. When you flip that page, instead of seeing this, you see this right there. This guy he's there. He's bigger than you. I'm down. I'm below him. He's got more power than me because he's above me. He's hovering above me. He's standing above me. It gives me more power. So as I say, again, this is what I want to teach you. When you start to draw, first of all, you want to make it as exciting as possible. Then after that, you want to tell what's going on. There was a book, it was a G.I. Joe book. It was a Snake Eyes. And I think he was breaking into a fortress. This was a long time ago. He was breaking into the Cobra base or something like that. And that book, if I'm not mistaken, that book did not have one word in it. And this is what made me like Snake Eyes so much, that book. The art was good, and the fact that it didn't have one word in it. Because number one, he was breaking into a Cobra base, so he needed to be quiet. Number two, he couldn't talk. And number three, who was he there to talk to? So the book, every picture, portrayed what was going on. He had to be quiet. He was sneaking. His body language, because he has a mask, his body language told the whole thing. And this is something else we're going to work on in this series. So every week or so, I'm not going to try to push 2 weeks out. I'm just going to let it flow. So in it, we're going to work on like things like body language. So if he put his in his pocket like that. So when you see a person or a thing or whatever, without any words, you can say, oh, this guy, he's just depressed. He's sad, because the body language tells, the whole story. Whether the person is depressed or, he's just down on his luck, or whether he's happy or so forth. So this versus this, you can kind of say, with the guy's head looking down and his back hunched over, his hands in his pocket, the way he's balancing his stand, you can say to yourself, hey, something's wrong with that guy. Other than, versus this guy, if I lean him back a little bit more, that would make him even more powerful. With his hands on his hips. So these are the things that I want to show you how to do when you're doing your scene, whether you're doing a comic book or whether you're just doing a picture of your warrior chained to a wall and there's no words. You want to be able to see the posture, the strength, the weakness, the fear, the joy, the anger on the person's face, his body, and his hands. So this is the series that we're going to do today, just little scenes. So in this video, I want to start out by just drawing somebody driving a car, just a simple car driving. So let's get to that. And I'll figure out if I missed something that I was going to say, I'll figure it out as we go along. And as I said before, this is not just for like advanced people, because we're going to be using a lot of this kind of drawing, and then just add stuff to it as we go. Little simple stuff, so anybody can kind of keep up with what we are doing or what I am doing. Just a few lines. You put clothes on the person, the hair on the person. It could be dripping blood. He could have got beat up and walking home with mouth dripping blood. So it's really simple to draw. I've always said that it's simple to draw. It's just that I guess you have to have a good teacher to show you this stuff, because there are so many people that just want to get online and like, oh, look at me, I'm going to draw this Batman. This is going to be the best Batman you ever see. And it's not really helping you any. It's just kind of like helping him to show off. And people love to be entertained. Nobody wants to really be educated. Entertainment, information, and education, those are the three big money makers on YouTube. Everybody has a bad day from time to time and you want to be just entertained. Okay, I want to come home and look at some cat videos because that'll make me feel better. And then you have the information. Oh, the iPhone 33X J7 is coming out. Let me show you why you should not buy this phone. So, people want to see that. And then education. I'm going to show you how to fry the best country style grandma eggs ever. Not too many people want to do that, but those who do are happy to get, but it's not as big as entertainment. So let's get on with this video. I want to try to keep it to 30 minutes. I'm already 21 minutes and 10 seconds into it. So let's get going. All right, so this is the scene. You're going to have someone or maybe two people driving a car. I'm not going to say this is what your script calls for, because I don't want to stick this into it's a comic book only thing. It's just you wanting to draw something, but I will reference comic book-ish from time to time. All right, so one thing, always, it's good to have reference. I said that before. Always, if you can't find some kind of reference. Go out and take pictures of something. If you don't really know what something looks like, go take a picture of it. If you need a person standing by, ask a friend, or set up a tripod and take a picture of yourself by a car or whatever. So I was going to say something else about the reference part, but yeah, just do that, and that will save you a lot of time in doing it. Okay, so this is a car. Okay, yeah, of course, this is the little toy car that I had. Oh, spend money on yourself. Don't, if this is something you want to do, seriously, don't go out and buy like $500 worth of Jordans. Go buy you some drawing dummies, or, some good paper or something that's going to help you in the long run. A camera, a tripod for your camera, so that you can take more pictures of stuff and use that for yourself. Buy you a pad or tablet or whatever. Just, this is something serious. So, okay, again, we are talking about squares, okay? Like I said, squares, most of the things, in life are going to be squares and rectangles. That's the majority of the things. Your room, your laptop, your table, your phone, your refrigerator, all these things. So once you master drawing the square, that helps a lot. And after that, it's just adding detail to it. So I'm speeding it up because I have like about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to cut to the next video. A car. Okay, let's just put it up here. Car, make this a little darker. Here's my square rectangle. This is my car. Okay, now I can put a top on it, almost like doing a triangle. For those of you who can't draw that well, triangle, cut it off like that. Put a thing here, put a half circle there, a half circle. Just go ahead and put a circle there for your tires. You're going to put your door here. If it's a 4-door, if it's a 2-door, you put your door back. Door here goes over there, 4-door goes over that. And then you just kind of shape it up. And this is just a quick way to do a car. For those who don't really know how to do this stuff, and I want to keep it to where I'm teaching those who really can't draw and teaching those who can draw. So I'm going to meet you guys in the middle. But again, okay, here's a car, and it's to say they're going to have conversation. These people are going to have conversation. So this is like really boring. So here's put a little guy here in the car, and he's having a conversation. He's going to be either on a cell phone, or he's going to be talking to somebody else that's riding, next to that person. But that's boring. Just like the square, just like that square that I showed you, that's boring. So let's try to turn this around. Let's look at it in perspective again. Are we going to be able to see over the car? So if I'm seeing over, and I'm going to use this. Let's just do this. I'm looking over it. No, I'm not looking over. I am looking over it because you can see the top. Sometimes perspective gets me. It's easy. But when I try to think about it too hard, it's just, it just gets me. If I'm looking over the car, am I going to be able to see the people well enough to see who it is? So you want to think about that. If they're having a conversation, if that conversation is important, I want to see the people in the car. So if you can't see it, definitely can't see it, above the car, you definitely won't be able to see it underneath the car. Let me get a thicker pen, but not too thick, to where I might be able to detail some of this stuff. And of course, you want to draw it a little bigger, because this is just going to be the whole scene. The whole scene is going to be these guys or this person talking in a car, okay? It doesn't make a difference where they're going or whatever's happening yet. They're going to be talking in that car, and something, I just forgot the hand part. And you want to see them, because whatever they're saying is important. Okay, now, like as I say, you find a picture online, of cars, the best angle you can, and try to tweak it a little bit. So let's say, all right, now I want to zoom in on these people. Remember, this is the actual scene right here. This is my actual panel that I'm going to be drawing the people in. So I want to zoom in on the person here. Wow, is going right here. So I'm going to lift his head up a little bit. My eye line, thank you, is going to be right here. So I'm going to lift him up a little bit. So I'm above the shoulders. So I'm going to see a little bit of shoulders. So I'm going to go kind of square box it just a little bit so it'll be easy for you guys. Now I know nobody sits up in a car straight. They always lean back in the car when you're driving. Now you have to look at that person or look at that car and how can I say, it's I have it in my head, but I can't get it out. I'm gonna open the door just so you can see. Yeah, this thing cost me a couple dollars because you got some detail into it. So okay, here is the car. You see the person. I want to zoom in more to see the actual person's face. So I have to turn the car around. How much of this face do I want to see? Do I want to see the front of his face? But if I turn it too much, if I have a shot outside the car, I have to draw the pillar of the car. And if I have the shot inside the car, I won't be drawing that. So is it the second person? So let's just draw the one person first and then go from that. So this is going to be his center line. This is going to be him. His face is going to be here. Is he driving? So like this is the wheel. It's going to be his hand right here. A little foreshortening right here. And let's say the other hand is on the wheel. That's going to come out. Steering wheel. As I say, you have to know how these things are made. How's your car made? What kind of car is he driving? Is it a futuristic car that just completely different, or is it a today's car? The seat goes back here, comes back. So at this point, I'm in the inside of the car. If I was on the outside, if the camera's on the outside looking in, somewhere I'm going to have this pillar right here, which is what this is called, that holds up the roof here. So let's get red since I have a color. Don't run away, car. That pillar is going to be like right here somewhere, maybe about right here somewhere. Here's going to be the top of the window. This is going to be the roof. And you have to think about things because drawing is a thinking game. It is a thinking game. You have to think about everything. If you just want to sit down and draw superheroes flying, somewhere, then that's fine. But why do you draw? And that's something else I was gonna say. Why do we draw? Do you draw just to show off? Well, there's really couple reasons that we do draw. It's to show off, to see, when I get deep into it, because my brain is on something, but other things jump out. So I'll come back with that when I get that right. So are you drawing just to show off? Are you drawing to make money? Are you drawing to, what was it? 29:54, it's almost 30 minutes. Are you drawing because there is like a story that tell you, you just have this fire inside you. You have to get it out. You have to draw or paint or write because this thing is out. You have to figure out why you're doing that. And always try to draw for fun. Always try to do for fun. Whatever you do for fun. The most successful people in sports and music and whatever, they don't see that as a job. They do it for fun. And never lose that fun, because I lost it for a while. I'm still trying to get it back. This is why I've been late with videos, because it's become a job. It's like I want to make money instead of like teaching. It became like, oh, I have to make money, to do this. And it became a job, and it was like a job that I just started not to like because, I wasn't really making the money. But every now and then somebody will say, oh, you know what? I love your videos. I found your channel. I used to draw when I was young and I stopped, and now I saw your things and I'm back to drawing now and I'm happy. And those kind of things make me want to keep coming back, because YouTube has not been paying me the way I would have liked, but it's just your comments. When you say something like that, I'm like, you know what? I'm blessing people. I'm not going to worry about money. I'm just going to give those blessings out, because I always say, give a blessing, get a blessing. So have fun when you draw. Now it's 31 minutes. I know people's time is important. Some people say, oh, I like the long videos. Some people say, oh, the videos are too long, keep the short. So I'm going to meet you guys in the middle and still do what I do and have fun doing it. So at this point, I'm going to cut this and we're going to get back into the car in the next video.